Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about, it's the last day of September, of Rectember, and we're headed into Uptober tomorrow, and we're going to talk a little bit about the divide in the community, because we see people talking about that this is the biggest bubble, comparing it to the tulip crisis or tulip bubble and then crisis, and how people lost all their money on it. Is Bitcoin really like tulip, or is it rather something else? Let's talk about this, and also let's see what the next move here out of Bitcoin and then out of crypto could be, and let's not get wrecked together. So make sure to stay all the way through, also because we're going to look at one or the other altcoins and altcoins together, how they are doing. So yeah, stay tuned. So good morning to each and every one of you. I see you are already hyped and here. That is good. Good morning, chat. And we are in the Bitcoin chart, where we are bouncing off of here. This is the daily. We're bouncing off of the lower part of the bull market support band. Overall, on the weekly, we have bounced off of the upper band of the bull market support band, if you see it like that, right? So it seems that we have our bounce complete, and we want to move higher on this. And as I mentioned yesterday in the video, we are headed into a lot of economic data that is coming out on the 3rd of October. So we would expect some market makers to flush out longs and whatever in these next days. So we could definitely begin the October not so bullish. That doesn't mean that the latter end of October cannot go into crazy pumps, right? So everything depends on how we are moving in the next couple of days in October, and the market has always a tendency to disappoint people, which means we could see red in the first days of October, and then everyone will cry that this time is different, of course. And then, yes, as already mentioned, gold is absolutely rallying. Yesterday I made a video about it. Today we are already $60 higher per ounce of gold. If you if you see this here, I mean, gold is in its fifth week, and as we speak, it literally puts in all-time highs as we speak here. So gold is still running, and Bitcoin is still stalling, basically, right? So yeah, as we do see here, right? Bitcoin still needs to to catch up to gold. Bitcoin is still flagging along where gold was basically a couple of weeks ago. So that is very bullish outlook for Bitcoin. The question is only when does it start, and I don't think that anyone can tell that right from the top. Guys, if you enjoy this content, then make sure to smash up the like button right now. And look at this, right? So I saw this post here, and this guy says, you may not like it, you may not see it, it may even provoke you. We have the largest bubble ever, and crypto is the very definition of it. That does not mean that the technology, blockchain, etc. will not change the world. It 100% will, but crypto is a bubble and it will burst. And yes, same for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's analyze this, because obviously just because someone has a nice comparison chart, I will show you in a second what else fits to this, right? So basically, he says that it all starts with a takeoff and a first sell-off, a boar trap, so where institutional investors are coming. By the way, institutional in this tulip mania, there is smart money in it, and then institutional investors come in it, and then the public comes in it, right? But with Bitcoin, it's different. Already that is different. There was basically the public in it, then the smart money, and then the institutional investors, right? So already that would be the new paradigm, right? But then, okay, so first sell-off, media attention, or like media attention coming in, greed, like enthusiasm, greed, delusion, new paradigm, right? So question is, why did this not fit like every cycle or the last? Why is this now? Okay. And then the crash phase with denial and return to normal and so on. So basically the argument is that we are in this in Bitcoin since ever, basically. And what they are, or what this guy is pointing out, is that we are basically in a bull market since the inception, and assuming that at some point we will crash, right? If we put this on the non-logarithmic, basically looking like this, take out the lines, there we go, right? Basically saying that you have this first sell-off, and then, right, so here this bounce, this media attention bounce, and then the bubble pop, right? The argument against that would be, for one, what I just said, that it's not the same sequence of adoption. And the second argument against it is that you can do that with almost every chart in the world. You can, with almost every chart in the world that is like a broader market, you can do the same, right? So for example, you can take the S&P 500, and then you also have this, right? Let's zoom out here a little bit. So this is the S&P 500, right? So you would say, this is smart money, and then here is the public, right? So first sell-off, public, media attention. Okay, so then we will have a big bubble pop here, right? But you could also say that was here, right? This is the big bubble pop, right? It did not happen. Then mega bull, and many people said so, right? So we do have YouTubers that make their entire living of showing at each of these points in the market, for example on the S&P 500, that I remember this 4 years ago, somewhere here, right? They also showed that from here it will crash like this, like in the Great Depression, and also put evidence on the table, right? So bottom line is, these guys predicted the the last 30 bubble pops of the 0 ones we had, right? They predict every bubble pop of the 0 ones we had so far, right? So I mean, you could argue that each drawdown is a bubble pop, like the big ones that we had here, right? So 48. We don't have since, I don't know, since when was that last time? 2008 or so, 2008 to 9. We don't have any bubble pops of this magnitude anymore, right? So the crashes of this, and then also like all the TA bubble pop guys, they would have been like, can't you see this is a double top? So therefore we go therefore we go like into oblivion, and then it's like bubble pop money printer kicks in, right? So there is some fundamentals for Bitcoin that need to be discussed, right? And we're going to look into some of that right now. I just have to find it because I fairly quickly started this live stream, so I have to find the right one here. There we go. So here's basically the difference, or the reason why there is such an intrinsic value in the Bitcoin network. So listen to this quickly.
The real problem with gold is that, unfortunately, it has to centralize. The problem is that gold can't achieve transaction finality without the help of a government or a central party, meaning that when gold was operating in a local economy and you can exchange the physical coins with your direct counterpart for your butcher, your local tailor, your grocer, whoever you were exchanging with, gold was great. When the world needed to scale an economy and the velocity of money larger than your local economy, gold failed us. Gold failed us because gold is just a bare physical metal. It does not carry a monetary network. What's the gold network? The gold network are human beings. And when you're trying to transact in an economy of billions of people globally, you are reliant on central parties, banks, governments. And it was for that reason that gold failed. And it failed in a way that you can't operate a truly free market when the concentrated supply is with those that you have to trust. And so that's fundamentally what Bitcoin solved, is that you are able to create a scarce bearer instrument and a network that can achieve finality in transactional settlement without the reliance on any government or central party. So that, I think, is extremely, that's really the core issue of why gold's been demonetized since. I think on the points of Bitcoin like needing more history and it's young, I mean, I think that sounds like a personal problem for you, Peter. Like that, I think you need more evidence. And that's you being slow to recognize reality, right? Like if you were to need the internet to prove that email is better than traditional mail, you would just be late to adopting better technology. That doesn't sound like, that's not a point or a criticism against the properties that Bitcoin has. That's your own personal bias of how much proof that you need to adopt something that might be superior. So that's on you. And the last thing I will say on Bitcoin's volatility, for the listeners, I really think it's an important fundamental point. Risk is not the same thing as volatility. Risk refers to the probability of a permanent loss of capital. Risk would be that the Bitcoin code or the Bitcoin network outright fails. You can make an argument that Bitcoin's actually the least risky asset ever because it's the only asset you can store in your head. Bitcoin is, however, extremely volatile. And I will admit that, but that's a pro. Volatility is the frequency or like the magnitude of which the price fluctuates. And so Bitcoin, hold on. I'm almost done, I promise.
Going here, right? First point made, and I think this is the most important one, is everything that is good about gold is in Bitcoin, right? So transaction finality and so on. But the only downside of gold is eliminated in Bitcoin, right? It's hey, you cannot transact it in a very quick way all across the globe. It's just merely impossible, right? So that, and then this comes to so what's the difference, going back to the point of this bubble, right? And bubble scenario, the difference between Bitcoin and for example, tulip onions, right? Or tulip roots, is that there you have basically a speculation bubble, but you could already see like the base value of tulips is just that, right? That you could take it and resell it. Yeah, which is an accusation for Bitcoin, but also for every market, right? It's not really holding up. But the other thing is there's no network value in tulips, also not in other assets that have been speculated up. But here we do have a network value. We do have some history to base on it. We do have adoption and growth of crypto, but also especially of Bitcoin. And the argument is made even around Bitcoin, not even around the whole crypto space. Also, where I would say that some crypto is in bubble territory here, right? So we do have a fundamental difference between tulips and Bitcoin in that sense, right? Tulips just tulips, and at some point the price will go back to the intrinsic value of tulips, that you can plant them and they look beautiful, and that's it, right? Whereas here we have an outlook of a major adoption curve that theoretically could fail. But yeah, theoretically, that's the risk, right? The risk is that it could fail, but the opportunity is all that volatility that this early stage brings with it, which is what Jack Mallers basically is pointing out here. So in that sense, I'm not too worried about this being a bubble, although we do see price predictions that are absolutely out of this world. One Bitcoin may be worth 1 billion by 2038, says Fidelity. So apparently this Jurian Timmer of Fidelity forecasted first 100 million for a Bitcoin, and then 1 billion in 2 decades from now per Bitcoin. One Bitcoin may be the equivalent to 1 billion in 2038. Yeah, he backed up his assertion with a 4-hour Bitcoin USD chart that combined the stock to flow model with his demand model. So basically fractal. But okay, is it impossible? No, it's absolutely not. And the reason why these predictions might all be coming true are, of course, like, let's say someone would have said 30 years ago, let's just assume Bitcoin exists 30 years ago, which it did not, but someone would have sitting in Caracas 30 years ago and said I don't even know what they have in Venezuela. Is it the Bolivar or the peso? I don't know, but I think it's a Bolivar or something like that. If someone would have said that Bitcoin would be worth billions, I don't know, maybe hundreds of billions of bolivars, then probably people would have said, hey, you're absolutely nuts, right? But of course, if a loaf of bread already costs 100,000 whatever currency, then billions is not too far away, right? And so it all comes down to, if you measure it in terms of currency, then it's crazy. The question is, how much houses, cars, and freedom does Bitcoin buy in 20 years from now? And not necessarily measured in currency, but rather measured in what you can get out of it, right? That is the question, and that also bears the question with all these bubble pop scenarios. Maybe even the bubble pop scenario is true, but what if that only happens when it went to billions, right? And then it crashes down from 100 billion to 1 billion or something like that, right? Something crazy like that. Then of course that broken clock of the doomsday sayer will be right in 30 years from now. Who knows, right? But maybe that's not now. And also these people, they will constantly make money on drawdowns because everyone thinks they are right with their bubble pop scenario. So, for example, we had in the last bear market, we had a Crypto Savvy that predicted that Bitcoin goes back to 3,000 a coin, and then we bottomed at 15,000, right? So he was right down to 15,000, and then everyone else in the space was 12K's next. And then we went and did a turnaround, and basically everyone who was on the sidelines to catch the bottom at 12,000, they also said that there's a dead cat bounce at 20,000. So they definitely missed the entire move from 15,000 to somewhat 30,000 before the first ones admitted that they were wrong, right? So I'd say time in the market is better than timing the market, as we can see. Quick shout out to all the rare hodlers, to everyone here in the space. Good morning to you and each and every one here. We have Green Lantern in the house, GM boys, with the coffee, driving, rocket, everything. How's it going? We have Trucking Hank in the house. Good morning to you as well. We have Bodo. Good morning. We have Puka Jotrich. Yo, hodlers. Hope everyone has a blessed day. PH, good to see you live again. Absolutely. Sorry for, yesterday it was not possible, but I did a video. So when I can't go live, I will at least try to make a video if there's anything that I can tell you. We do have Troy Paris, hello PH, hello green people. So thank you to each and every one of you who is subscribed to this channel as a rare hodler in the rare hodler tier. And also smash up the like button, everyone else. We do see Jasper Frank in the house. We have Björn BCY here. Not much time today, unfortunately, no problem. You can catch up later. Also, Jasper Frank, Gold Rocket. Divine the Thing also here. Chris Klein, good morning, sir. In a Rose Oasis Network Futures trade right now, up 27% so far. Okay, congratulations to you for the good trade. Hopefully it turns out to be very profitable. Don't forget to lock in profits as always. You grow, I grow. Good to see you as well. Russ Gould. Yo, what's going on, Russ? Long time no see. So there we go. Let's go back to the content quickly. So, we do see signs of a broader global bubble, right? But the question is, with bubbles always like they can go more and more bubbly. They can go bubble up a lot, right? Housing. It would take 38% a crash in home prices or a 60% surge in household incomes just to claw back to 2019 affordability levels. And this is where a correction is becoming more and more and more likely in fiat terms, because when the incomes don't rise sharply, and people and houses stay on a high level, at some point no one can buy the houses anymore, and at the same time with the high interest rates, everyone who bought a house at these super high prices on a loan will get wrecked by the interest rates once that loan comes out of the fixed interest rate period, right? So that happens. But in Bitcoin terms, a house, here we see the fiat term, here we see the Bitcoin term, right? So right now, the house is coming down in terms of Bitcoin. In 2016, a house did cost 664 Bitcoin. So if you are in Bitcoin since 2016 and you're sad that you did not buy a house, look again, because even if you're only in like 0 point something Bitcoin, you are coming much, much closer to buying a house with your Bitcoin, or even better, taking out a loan against your Bitcoin or whatever, right? And buying that house, right? While the price of the house basically is coming to you. 664 Bitcoin. Imagine everyone who bought a house in 2016, had they only bought Bitcoin, they would be able to buy like 200 houses right now, something like that. It's absolutely nuts. And then from 2020 to 2024, from 45 to 6.6 Bitcoin, that is a very, very sharp decline in house prices if you measure it in Bitcoin, right? And that's the real measurement, right? Bitcoin basically reflects how the economy should be, because the economy should be through more efficiency, through technology improvements and so on. The economy should make everything that we need in life and want in life more cheap over time. Like the price should go down, not up, right? Of everything. There are things where the price goes down, like for example TVs or something like that, right? You always get bigger, better, 4K, Ultra HD, blah blah TVs. If you look at the same technology from 4 years ago, that TV is dirt cheap right now. Yeah. So the price in that same technology goes down over time, and new technology comes out, the price goes up, right? So if, for example, try to buy an iPhone from 4 years ago, whatever number that was, I think like iPhone 15 or so, that price went down significantly, right? Even if it's like as good as new or something like that, the price went down significantly. Buy like 85 diameter flat screen 2 years ago versus now, right? The price goes down. But then there are some things where the price doesn't go down, which is cars, right now, right? Used car price went up, houses price went up, and so on. Why? Because the effect of the economy is not as strong as the monetary debasement, and everyone, also the governments have to even do this, and they want to do this because people don't want to buy a house and see the price go down, right? Basically, they would not vote for someone who makes the price of houses go down permanently, because everyone who gets a house, they want to see their house go up in value, not take it on a loan, not buy it on a loan and then see the value of the house, or the price, no, not the value stays flat, but the price of the house coming down, right? But in terms of Bitcoin, that's the reality. The price goes down, and it's also like where I exactly said, had you bought this house with 664 Bitcoin, you would really feel really bad about it, right? So the price, Bitcoin basically shows you the real effect of that economy and the network adoption there. Okay. So coming back to our bubble topic, I did show this in yesterday's video, but I bet not everyone saw it. And guys, by the way, smash up the like button. Let's invite some more people here into the stream if you think everyone else should also watch this content. And that is the other side of the medal, is not that we are in this bubble and crash into this mega crisis, but rather that we are only in the beginning of the optimism, belief, thrill, and euphoria phase. I did use this as an argument yesterday because I also disagree on this one. I also don't agree that we are only in a hope phase. I do believe that we are in the belief phase, right? Where people do think that there is one more push coming, and then basically once this push comes, people get sucked into thrill and euphoria and so on, and then or this, either or, right? Either we are in this, or we are already in complacency and we just can't see that this is the end, right? But I don't think so, because the macroeconomic environment is still too hawkish, right? Still too hawkish. We are only starting rate cuts. We are only stopping quantitative tightening. The money printer is just starting to roll big time, right? So so we are headed into October, and October has basically an average of 25% return for Bitcoin here, or for crypto. But I think this is Bitcoin, to be honest. Anyways, it's a big fat return, and then after October is November, which is even better usually, right? So then also very interesting, which we did not see that much yet, is a bull market that evolves in this way with its RSI, right? So we had something similar, but not quite like this, in 2017, where also we had an extremely prolonged phase until we the first time saw an RSI over 70, right, which is the orange dots here. And then we have the 200 week bull market support, so to say, right? The interesting thing is we did hit 2 times this cycle, a little higher RSI, but we never saw a red dot. Okay, so what I could imagine is that we are going now in this parabolic phase, just as here, right, where suddenly the price jumps up, and we leave behind that very long trail of just moving in a straight line. We see this is very straight, this very straight line. So the question is, will we see just something like that, 3 or 4 red dots, right, where the RSI is extremely high, and a jump in price to the upside, right, where we go to somewhere in the direction of $200,000 per Bitcoin, right? That would be amazing, of course. which then also bears the question, is that then it, and I think then people will, I think when this happens, people will get into this over-excitement phase. And I think it could be starting in October. Let's see. Of course, now we have already two narratives again, right? We have the narrative that we get 3-4 months and then that's it. And then we have the narrative that the cycle is extended by a year. Because of debt maturity and blah, blah, right? Which is basically the thesis of Raoul Pal. Let's just consider both scenarios and then align a strategy around that. And that would be a strategy where you gradually take profits when the price goes up. And this is not financial advice, but this is what I will be doing, where if we see, for example, Ethereum go into new all-time highs, I will shave off some profits, but I'll still be in that, just in case that really we will just see 1 year bull market after that or something like that. Then it would be obviously bad if I'm in December on the sidelines, right? At the other side, meaning that I will risk a certain percentage of my holdings where I say, okay, if that moves hard, I'm good, and if that goes into the bear market, I'm also good, right? So there's that middle ground, right? Not being too greedy here. Let's see. But from a market perspective, where let's go back into the log scale, where we are right now, we do see, if we bring back the lines, we do see our TSI, and I can't help but saying I don't see another 1 year cycle coming in here just based on these indicators. At least not on the TSI, because there's just not room for that, right? I mean, or and this can also happen, I'm not delusional, right? I could also see that that then an indicator fails, if that's the case, right? But I will stick to my base indicators, right? And I will stick to what they tell me. And of course, if they're proven wrong at some time, then so be it, right? But right now we do see there's much more room for the RSI. By the way, this RSI, it's just trending downwards right here, as we do see. At the moment, and what would be interesting is to see this downwards trend being broken at some point on this weekly, on this monthly, and then the shoot upwards to 80 something, right? And also here we have a downward sloping trend line, where I would say the moment that we reach this line, no matter where it is, right? If it's next year, by the way, we would have to get up here. I mean, this bubble center is right now in December, right? So we would need a straight line like here, up to there. It would be an RSI of roughly 88. And if that is hit, I'm definitely out, right? I'm definitely out, meaning like with the part that I'm willing to trade and not stay in it, right? But in that territory, I'm definitely going to take profits, and that also counts for every other coin, right? That also counts for ETH, right? If I see that on ETH, I'll be definitely out. By the way, on ETH is also something like a little bit more interesting. Oops, sorry. I have to open up this ETH chart a little bit. There we go. So we had this breakout, and now we have this back test basically on the monthly, right? So I'd say, and we're closing this candle in less than a day, in 17 hours. I'd say this back test, it's really good, right? It's not going very deep and so on. It seems like a really nice retest of this major structure, basically confirming where we could go next. Also, we do see basically the RSI is just right. something. Yeah, there we go. We're just at the verge of a breakout here. So actually, you could argue we have just broken out if you would put it like this. I mean, of course, everyone can draw lines as they please, but we could just argue we broke out here from RSI. Bottom line is, for me, no matter if this line is any validity to that or not, if I do see something like an 80 something RSI here, right, which was here basically starting, that's where I sell definitely my Ethereum, right? And then if I go to VeChain, for example, sorry, at USDT, also on the monthly, right? I mean, we are still in this accumulation. So for VeChain, I think this long ago. But if I see that happen, such a peak in the RSI, the price action massive to the upside, that's where I'm going to exit. And it will be quick and hard, right? This run. Let's see when it happens. Let's see when. And this is also something like everyone expects once Bitcoin runs that all the altcoins will run. Not necessarily Bitcoin based. When the altcoin season is really happening and very explosive happening, that's when Bitcoin topped. Basically, when we see that out of the altcoins, we can very safely assume that Bitcoin already topped. Yeah. So at the moment, if we're hoping that Bitcoin runs more, and also because we are not seeing the altcoins rallying right now, I bet that we are not at the top for Bitcoin right now. I bet that we will see more out of Bitcoin, and then we're going to see what's going on for the altcoins. For me, this is a bullish thing, right? That we are down here accumulating, not down here somewhere, right? So that is definitely bullish. Let's look at also, because it's on the spotlight, right? Let's look at Mcade also, at Metacade. Come on, loaded. There we go. So Mcade on the monthly, yeah, there's nowhere near. The RSI looks very, very good. We are still on the monthly. It's kind of in this channel. We are overall in an absolute massive accumulation range. Also, I do think that we are going to. Actually, I'm thinking about buying a little bit more of Mcade at this point. I do also think that we will have a massive run on Mcade. What's the market cap on Mcade right now? Let's check it out. It's place 900, 18.5 million. So I think that, like, if the market explodes, it easily, without anything else, without any bigger news and so on, it easily does a 10x, right? So that for sure. Let's see how it plays out. And then the money flow, right? We should look at Ecomi as well. So for Ecomi, and we are on a weekly here, we do see that we're holding this level, and it's really something that we weren't used to. That after a pump, we're holding at this level. And I definitely say that this is still a bull flag, right? There's still a bull flag, and I do think that maybe already we will see some next move out of Ecomi to the upside. It looks, to me, these types of things, it looks more bullish than anything else, right? How about VeChain? I just had VeChain up. It's just consolidation or accumulation. Sorry, accumulation. All good with VeChain, in my opinion. Still accumulation. Yeah. For Ecomi though, we also see this is interesting, right? We did have a couple of days ago. We did have a drop of like almost 40 wallets, and then just back up, right? It's like a correction, like higher lows and higher highs, basically, in the user numbers for VeVe. We're now at 667,028. Of course, you have to deduct all of these bot wallets, right? But bottom line is the non-zero collectible wallets are still growing, which is good. Okay. Yeah, welcome to stream, JW. I think it was like 3 minutes before you joined that I looked at VeChain, but all good there. Yeah, so we also see like minting, transfers going on, right? If we go a little bit to the side, you can also see like, yeah. By the way, let's refresh because this I opened this up before the stream. Yeah, so yeah, we see a lot of minting, we see a lot of transfers of all sorts of collectibles going on. So at every hour of the day, right? So really, really good to see that there is a lot of things happening on the marketplace. Of course, could be more, could be of more value. We do see though that people are stacking everything they can get their hands on. Yeah, golden moments, Assassin's Creed collectibles, Star Wars collectibles, DeLoreans, Season 1 DeLoreans, and we see like I mean here this wallet is like buying, I don't know, what is that, 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, wow, this wallet just bought like 16 DeLoreans. What the heck? So we see that there are players in this that are quietly stacking. Impatiently waiting for VeChain to start recovering from these bottom levels? Absolutely. Yeah. But patiently, not impatient. Wow, it's even more, actually, it's even more. What the heck is going on? This wallet just bought, I don't know, it's probably 50. Look at this. This wallet buys all the DeLoreans. What the fuck is happening? What the heck? This wallet in the last 2 hours. Okay, maybe it's 100 DeLoreans. I don't know. I don't know also what the price was, but this wallet just went completely nuts on the DeLoreans. What the heck is going on? In the last 2 hours, like this wallet bought all the DeLoreans. Oh God. That's not the behavior in a dead market. Let's just say that. That for sure, right? That's not the behavior in the dead. Of course, there was a big bubble in VeVe in the last run, but that's not the behavior of a dead market. Let's look at the altcoin market in general. We are down 1%. There are a couple of things that are moving. Mixed finance is up again after correcting pretty big. We do have ZAC, we do have Quant. Other than that, not many coins are in the green today. We do have a bigger mover here in the lower brackets. Apex with almost 7x on the day. No, sorry, on the week. Oh, that was the weeklies, guys, not the dailies, but the weeklies. So Apex 7x in a week. CCD Concordium more than doubled. Slash Vision Labs almost doubled. So there are a couple of coins that apparently have some news that exploded. Yeah, on the day we do see, today we do see LDO, Mantle, we do see Sonic, which was previously Phantom, with 7%. So a couple of coins with 7% in the plus, couple of coins correcting, nothing too crazy yet. Last day of September, we will have a monthly close today in every coin, yeah, including Bitcoin, will be a monthly close. And as we said before, the monthly close on top of, or the monthly and the monthly close on top of this bull market support band, right? That's pretty good. It's a big fat green candle. Still, it's not engulfing the previously red candle. Also, we did have big fat wicks on the upper side, which is, it shows that the sellers are strong, right, on Bitcoin. So yeah, we might have reached the selling exhaustion, as the wick here is a little bit lower. We have a big green candle. Let's see how October is, but if October is any good, then we will exceed 130,000 in October. We should be able to do that, as if, let's say, we close on this level today on 114,000, it might be that, so if October is anywhere on a 10 to 20% move, then we should get to this to this 130k in October, putting in a new all-time high in October, and then put some more on in November, and then that's probably it, right? But we will see. Maybe that's not it. Let's see. So far so good. Make sure to smash up the like button right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, for multiple crypto morning coffees and videos per week. Notifications on also. Guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Let's get into this Uptober together, and enjoy your coffees. Have a good one, everyone, and bye.